welcome to Tea Time. We're your hosts and I am Zuri.
I'm Sedi. Today's discussion will focus on media functions pre and post-apartheid. Zuri and I will compare and contrast the strengths and weaknesses of both mainstream and new media to try and formulate a way in which these two can come together to form an alliance to better shape the media landscape in South Africa for the future.
So, let's start with some context. Apartheid translates from the Afrikaans term meaning apartness. It was an ideology that was implemented in 1948 by the South African National Party to enforce racial segregation and white supremacy.
Exactly. Under the system, South Africa was an authoritarian state. This meant that journalism was heavily censored and predominantly media corporations were white-owned. Corporations like the SABC were used as state tool for state propaganda and reinforcing racial ideologies.
So, guys, back then, the media wasn't always the voice of the people. It was actually the megaphone for the regime. But, viva la resistance, resistance did emerge. Journalists like Henry Mumalo and Ruth First became pioneers of independent reporting. They risked their lives to cover stories objectively and went against the status quo to speak truth to power.
We also saw publications like the Weekly Mail and Factory Blood defy censorship. They were constantly under threat, banned, and heavily surveilled, but they stayed committed to uncovering and reporting the objective truth, not just political narratives.
Then came 1994, and South Africa became a democratic state and had its first ever president, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. This ushered in a new era for the press and the formation of the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, also known as ICASA, ensured that press freedom was protected under the new constitution.
You know what this meant?
What did it mean, Sally?
It meant that there were more media houses that were black-owned now, and with this came the freedom of expression. People from unheard communities finally found themselves a platform to actually express themselves and tell their stories the way they needed to and how they wanted to. And from the freedom came the shift from more traditional broadcast media to digital and online platforms. And honestly, it has been a game changer.
You know what I think? That's kind of where our nation was formed. That's great, but the downside to all of this was the impact that it had on broadcasting and print media. Take print, for example. Big names like Mail and Guardian had to move online because people weren't waiting for physical newspapers anymore.
Really?
People wanted news now and they wanted news wherever they were, be it on their phones or their laptops. And unfortunately, for some papers, like The Times, which went fully digital in 2017, had to shut down their print version.
A lot of advertising had to move online too. So instead of investing in buying space for ads in newspapers, companies started investing in Google and Instagram ads.
So guys, this means that newspapers had to get creative with making their revenue. That's why you come across that subscription on that one newspaper that you love.
And your paywall.
Immediacy. And let's be honest, anyone with a phone can become a storyteller. I know that's a crazy concept for journalists because this opens the door for a lot of things. The hated term, fake news, being one of them. By fake news, we mean misinformation and disinformation and malinformation. So, with misinformation, this is information that is disseminated without the person telling others, knowing that it's false content. And with disinformation, people intentionally tell others the wrong content. This could be for various reasons, be it monetary gain, we all want to make money, you know what I mean? Or it could be also for defamation of character, or even clickbait. People want to get views.
Which is wrong.
So, what's the solution?
I think the best solution in this case is collaboration. If the new media can embrace the integrity and accountability of the old media, then definitely traditional media can embrace the creativity, digital reach, and innovation of the new media. This way, they come together to form one.
I understand that. So guys, please get it that it's not about competition. No one has to win. It's about collaboration and making sure that we complement one another by combining credibility, like you initially said,
and
creativity. Ultimately, we can build an ecosystem that serves truth, equity, and serves all South Africans. So, Sidi, which media are you for? Which media are you for? Mainstream or new media?
Me? I say both.
What makes you say that?
Remember, credibility, creativity, innovation, accountability, put them together, you're shaping the future
of South African journalism, guys. Okay, well, in my case, I would have opted for new media, but I think with the information that we've gotten today, I'm definitely leaning more on the combination side of things.
Right. Thank you for joining us, guys, on Tea Time. We hope this episode gave you something to drink about.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, guys, and join the conversation online. That being said, until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and stay sipping the truth.